right, guys, we are back. This is the Juice Box. I almost said the Jukebox, but I caught myself beforehand. But
still is a cool name.
Yeah, we're having some good weather. I don't know if you guys can tell. It's staying lighter a little longer. It's been a little warmer. We've seen the sunshine, so spring is on its way. Big Czar, what's up?
What's up? Glad to be here.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Been a while.
Thank you.
Literally, it's just a month away from the time change. I actually looked it up yesterday. I was very surprised. I think it's almost a month from Sunday or Saturday. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's time for my annual. When are they just going to get rid of the time change spiel? And then JT will counter in. But I kind of like the time change.
How many countries do that?
I don't. That's a good question. Somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true or not, that not the entire United States even does
It's
it.
100% true. You and I have had this discussion before, which it's weird. Like some states decide to do it, others don't. Then you mix that with the time zones. It makes things confusing as fuck.
That's way too confusing for me with time zones, but then also people not doing the time change. I mean, how do you even organize that? My brain, I don't think could. Like, imagine you're driving through whatever. You're driving across the country. You're in whatever time zone, and it's 4 p.m., and then you just hit the next state that's in the same time zone, and it's 3 p.m. I'd be, like, so confused. And then you get to the next state, and then it's 4 p.m. again.
Well, yeah, that was
I'd be,
my
like,
first
so
thought.
fucking fucked up.
That was my first thought on it, like traveling.
Yeah.
Say you're taking a flight, and you have a couple connecting flights in different time zones. It'd get all whacked out. I don't even know how you manage that.
Nah, I don't know.
Yeah, what's that say? Japan, India, and China.
Yep, only industrialized countries that do not observe some sort of daylight savings time.
Good for them.
Yeah, seriously.
For real. Yeah, I do remember, though. I feel like it was relatively recent that I thought West Virginia passed something that they weren't going to do the time change
There's
anymore.
a bill. There is like a bill. I don't know if it's just for West Virginia or the whole United States, but like there is some kind of act or bill that's been written. It just has to like fully get, how that works.
Pass through the system.
Pass through like the Senate and the House. And
Yeah, all the
that,
fucking
all that
bullshit.
shit,
Why did we agree to this?
I don't understand
Checks
either.
and balances.
Like back in the day, like why did everyone just succumb to the powerful people? Is that the right word?
Succumb?
Like
Yeah,
to the powerful people and just said, okay, this is what we'll do.
Doesn't it seem like democracy kind of sucks?
Yeah, like is it democracy
Fuck
though?
the
I don't
system.
know. Yeah,
Is it really? Think about it.
I-
Are we really free?
No, dude, we're not.
We're all conditioned.
But you
Luckily, we are unlearning. I'd say we are trying to unlearn what they have taught us and thinking freely for ourselves. But there are so many people out there who her brains are just like conditioned, like the news, like that is the Bible.
I
It's
feel like
crazy.
it is good though. I kind of like that we were taught something, and then now the older we get, we're realizing that a lot of it, I don't want to say it was full of shit, but a lot of it was probably over dramatized. And then it kind of just makes me feel at ease knowing that going forward, when you hear something, it's probably not a good attitude to have, but I'm just like, yeah, don't believe you.
No, dude, I
don't believe you at all.
I do not believe Bob Saget died just because he
Hit his
randomly got brain trauma in a hotel room. Like,
Dude, it's just
I don't believe that.
crazy shit like that does happen though. But this is making me think of like I saw a post the other day, and a majority of the comments were like, it was about Dare. Do you remember Dare?
Yes.
In school, and the majority of the comments were like, yeah, Dare was such a failure. Like
I've seen a whole whole TV program that said it was like the biggest
the
failure.
biggest failure ever.
ever.
Like so many kids were like, I didn't even know what drugs were until Dare told me.
Or
so
how
it's
to
like
do
if
'em.
we never had Dare, I wouldn't have learned what drugs were for so long. And like, I just think it's kind of funny at like what they were trying to do, and it just backfired.
It's like this is what I'm with you guys 100%. It's bringing awareness to things that normal people wouldn't know about, but since you decided to let everybody know that these things are bad, now everybody wants to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like the human human type situation where, oh, you're telling me I can't do this? I want to try it now. That type of deal.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And like,
It's weird.
that goes for a lot of things. Most things in life, like if you're told no, don't do it, it just makes someone want to do it more.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just like the scene in Mike and Dave where like they're all telling him not to ramp the 4-wheeler, and he's like, "I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it." And then he just smacks his head. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking do it!" And then he just goes full speed and ramps on the 4-wheeler.
I watched half of that movie this week. Classic.
That's a good
It's a
one.
good movie.
It's a
It's a
good
good movie.
fucking
It's
movie.
like the oldest story in the book, though, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
Adam and Eve
Oh yeah.
don't
Yeah.
eat the fruit.
Whoa.
Well, now I really want to know what it fucking tastes
That
like.
is the literal oldest story
Yeah.
in the book.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, and
Craziness.
back to when we were talking about things getting passed through different things, which it makes no fucking sense what ends up happening. But
Is it all a ploy so we just forget about it?
well, I don't understand how these groups of men or people or women or whoever it was were smart enough 300 years ago to make all of these rules and stipulations that we still to this day follow.
Well, that's the wild thing. Like, yeah, they were geniuses and everything worked back then, but like obviously shit has changed a good
Dude,
bit.
Well, I
that's
was
what,
gonna say, like most of the laws have been reformed and reformed
Right,
and
yeah.
reformed. Like,
Dude,
there's still basic stuff.
Rogan talks about that in one of his comedy his shows. He's like, imagine like the founding fathers are talking to us and they're like, hold up, you guys didn't write any more shit?
For real. For real.
You just stopped at us?
It's like with anything. Like you always have phone updates, computer updates. There's always things updating and yeah, like I agree. There's definitely been some things that I agree. Grab the sack, let's go to Mars. There's obviously been some things that are tweaked, but the base is still all the same. And it's probably because they never imagined in a million years that there would be this many people that live on one giant rock.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting theory because it's probably 100% right. Imagine the founding fathers probably imagined that like 100 years from them, it would still kind of look the same.
100%.
They probably didn't have any clue the amount of like
Evolution
is
of
that's not the
technology.
word I'm looking for.
I know what you're saying.
But yeah, you know what I'm getting
Like
at.
how
They
much people have changed and what we use and stuff. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
The
Well-
population growing this fast, like
I mean,
that's just everything.
if you're 100 years old right now, you were still alive when people took horse and buggies places.
Yeah, very
That's
early on
wild.
with cars and
When did the
The,
Model T come out? When was that? When's the first?
1920s or like
That's crazy.
15 around there. The craziest, maybe before a little bit before
I
that.
have
The
no
craziest thing that
I
my
believe you.
dad told me is like his grandfather. So not very many generations, but like he died right before I was born. Like when he was younger, they would still take people to the penitentiary on Sundays, and there were public hangings. Like after church, you'd go there, and they like that was the example for kids. Like, don't break the
Dude,
rules.
what?
I mean, but
That's a couple of generations, and then Babe Ruth played in Fulton, and he saw Babe Ruth play because professional. Well, not so much him, but in general, like professional athletes were so like they didn't get paid that much back then.
right
So in the off seasons, they would travel and play in different cities.
for
So
money.
so
yeah.
Babe Ruth played in Fulton.
well, dude, it's
That's
like
cool.
in
Whoa.
Walk the Line, there's literally a whole scene when Johnny Cash is in Wheeling
Yeah,
and he's literally fishing on the river, and it's known that they're in Wheeling, West Virginia.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, didn't the Capitol Music Hall was like kind of way more the shit back in the
Well,
day,
yeah,
wasn't
for
it?
sure.
Definitely.
I mean that was
But
like
I know what you're saying.
that was like the premiere, even
Yeah.
like in radio, like
Yeah.
country music. That was the place.
And it kind of, at least it feels like you would have these people going to very different places in cities and scattering and checking everything out. And now it's like if you're a big time performer, really the only couple places are like Los Angeles, New York City, now Austin, Florida's growing, Nashville. Like I bet before it was, you probably could just do it from anywhere. You didn't have to feel like you had to migrate to one place. So it is again, it's like, it's wild to think that these guys probably just got hammered in a fucking room and wrote all these rules and things down, thinking in their minds there's no way you're going to be able to have a phone where you're ordering rides home because you're drunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a
Like,
great
it's
point.
crazy.
Yeah. I watched like a mini doc today.
Oh, nice. Love a nice mini dog.
Yeah, it was about the movie Casino. Has anyone ever seen that?
It's my top 3 favorite movies of
It's
all
a great
time.
fucking movie.
Great
right?
movie.
Well, the guy, like, he does all these mini docs. He's on YouTube about like movies, and he tries to compare like the movie to like what actually happened. So he picks like historically accurate movies. The whole story about how Vegas was created is wild, crazy story. But like the fact that the Mafia controlled it for so long, and so they're talking about the years on there, and it just really got me thinking. I was like, that just seems like it was only like the early 70s. I was like, that just seems like when you hear the stuff that was happening, like further back than that. That wasn't that long ago.
It's not.
And I started thinking, I was like, that was a crazy way of life back then. I was like, my parents lived through that.
Dude.
Like people I can just directly talk to about it.
My
They-
grandpa lived in it.
Exactly. That's
Like,
what I
it's
mean.
crazy.
Even grandparents, like if you still have your grandparents around, like they saw some crazy fucking shit. Life is so much different now. It's not even, it's like night and fucking day.
Well, even though me and JT have heard the stories 100 times by now, but my grandpa was around all of that stuff that was going on. So he has stories and different things that we get to hear, and it's fascinating to me.
It's very
And
fascinating.
here's a hypothetical. So
Oh, yeah. Give me one.
in the whenever the Mafia was big, what, 70s, 60s, 80s,
Oh, I
probably
mean,
for a long time.
One of those years.
I believe the five families were founded in like the late 30s, early 40s, but like
Carried on.
Okay,
for-
so just
but it started before that. Before
just
it got organized.
picture the time when organized crime was at its height. Like, they were controlling everything, but they were taking care of their neighborhoods. You know, you wouldn't have homeless people, you wouldn't have drug dealers on corners. They were taking care of the places they were at. Let's imagine a world where the government wasn't able to condemn and take over the organized crime mafia areas, and the mafias actually won out in that battle. So right now we're living in a mafia state or a mafia country. I could argue that I think things would probably be safer and a lot better
I
if
think-
that was the case.
It's hard to say if they, but I think they'd probably be better. At least safer, cleaner, maybe.
Clean, just
Like not freaking all these homeless people and shit everywhere. Like I think it could be
because
better.
of all the stories you hear, if you had a small business, you had to pay your little cut to the mafia, but you always were taken care of. Like,
Unless you couldn't pay.
unless you
Yeah.
couldn't pay, and then
Then
you
you
were
got-
whacked.
then you got
then you had a couple
whacked.
guys
Then
show
you were
up.
Then you were fucking whacked. But you know, I
Well,
don't know.
I
It's-
100% get what you're saying. Like there was less bullshit going on
Yeah.
exactly
with them in charge of things because they ruled with a little bit of fear.
And yeah, you can't be tough with real tough guys.
Yeah.
You'll learn pretty quickly. doesn't
I
it?
want
I
pe-
like that.
I want people to fear how much they love me.
You
Michael
can't-
Scott.
But my mom said that life was better in Wheeling when the mob was kind of big.
My dad says it all the time.
Yeah.
Probably be a lot more fun
All the
for
time.
Yeah,
for the common folk.
Probably.
And I don't know. I know that's a giant hypothetical and a giant leap, but from everything I hear from when the mafia was around, things were pretty good. I mean, they did their thing, but everybody else was just kind
Isn't that kind of weird? Like we've talked about this before with like the war on drugs, but like when you really kind of like break it down and think about it, I'm about to get like real conspiratorial here.
Let's do
if
it.
that's a word. Conspiritual.
Conspiratorial,
Yes.
right?
Like
I think.
we talked about how the war on drugs is just because the government just wanted that money.
yes.
So think of it like this way, like taking out the mafia. You were saying, like all these businesses were giving kickbacks to the mafia.
Oh,
the
man.
government wanted to just step in so that they were getting the kickbacks.
Is the government just
It's just the mob.
The mob, like the government became the mob.
Yeah, they became the government is the biggest organized crime organization.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Yeah, I mean, really.
It was
It's true.
I'm not really up to like speed on the death of the mob, but is it when they got more into drugs and shit? Is that when they really had problems, or is it just the older generations died off?
I don't know. I think it's a big combination of things. Like the mafia or the mob, whatever you want to call it, is still around. Like,
Right.
definitely is. It's just underground. I don't know how they go about making their money these days, but like I think like what killed the prime age of the mob was like more surveillance and technology,
The RICO.
stuff like that. Yeah, the
that's-
RICO.
Act fucked
Yeah.
everything.
Like there was just a bit heavier
The fuck is
federal
the RICO
presence
Act?
against them.
It's racketeering. It's like organized crime.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
laws
solely
built
against, like,
around.
organized
So
crime.
Mm.
basically, to simplify it
Catch
for
a
you,
RICO charge.
it's like, okay, if you got in trouble, they could also charge the people that were around you the same charge as you because they were helping facilitate what was
Oh,
going on.
God dang it, Rico.
Rico Bozo.
Yeah.
But no, the mafia and the mob it's a very fascinating thing
It is.
because you could put that tin hat on, and I agree with you. Maybe they wanted their little chunk. There was money that was going
No,
elsewhere.
that's what it was.
That could go.
I mean,
to
come
them.
on. That's what it was.
It's actually this whole conversation is another like fantastic reason why you guys should watch Boardwalk Empire. It's
Yeah.
literally
It's so good.
What's
it's
that on
literally like
HBO?
this, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
might have to watch it
It's
now.
literally the start of the mob, essentially. It
Yeah.
covers all that, like how basically this is gonna go even further into it. How basically the government is like has a big hand in starting organized crime because of prohibition. So like they made alcohol illegal, and then all these like people want to sell it illegally and start these like organized crime families and shit like that.
Syndicates.
But like seriously, it's crazy. So they kind of were their own demise, and then had to like
Reel it back
take it
in.
back.
Yeah.
However, long after. I don't know how long Prohibition lasted for. It started in I think 1921.
I don't even think it was
I'm
10
gonna look
years.
22.
It was.
I was gonna say I
it
don't
was
know if it was even a
around, I think.
decade. But the fact that prohibition was a thing, like really started like a lot of organized crime
Yeah.
because it's solely focused around the alcohol business.
Yeah, you guys have
Kennedy's.
seen The Great Gatsby, bro. Like that's just a
Great
true
movie.
story based
You ever
on a
see
based on a
Lawless?
true story. Oh, that is one
it
of my
was.
favorite movies, Big Czar.
13 years.
Literally,
Yeah,
Lawless
that's
is
a
one of
good
my
movie.
favorite
And
movies.
That movie kind of that movie like in a way connects to Boardwalk Empire. Like
I think you
oth-
said that before.
people are mentioned in each show. One's a movie, one's a show. But yeah, Lawless is a good
I
movie.
love that.
Saw that in
movie.
theaters actually.
I love that
Really
movie.
good.
When I really got into Boardwalk Empire is there's like a tough guy and like the other crew or whatever, and they're just talking. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Jimmy," like whatever. He says, "I'm Al Capone," which is sick
Yeah.
because there's like real people in the show.
Yeah, like most
Before
of the
you knew who
characters
they
in the
were.
That is
show-
cool.
Most of the characters in the show are real people. Like there's Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, Arnold Rothstein, like tons of actual gangsters.
I always feel like there's something wrong with me because guys like that and like the Pablo Escobars and El Chapos of the world are like heroes to me. I just think it's
yeah,
fascinating.
I feel like a lot of
I'm the
people
same.
probably feel that way.
Most people.
Yeah, like a lot of people I think are like us.
I mean,
Yeah.
to just
Yeah.
think these guys, they just go against the grain and they build these empires that last for durations on time. Like I don't know.
I obsessed over it at a point in my life. Like I really was just loved the whole idea of that, and I was like, you know what, those guys have the right idea.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
yeah.
it just started because like the TV shows now, it started with the Sopranos. It's just always that anti-hero.
Yeah.
it's
Theme.
exactly.
Peaky Blinders. I just want to be Tommy Shelby.
I'm gonna have to
Hey,
restart
like you just
that.
want to be a badass that like everyone looks up to and respects, but then fears you. Like
Yeah.
like you want to be the man in your fucking city.
Yeah, instead of just being a big puss.
And I hate wearing
I doubt there's anyone in Wheeling like that anymore. Where like you walk into a anywhere, any establishment.
Oh,
in
don't
Wheeling.
say that.
and-
You'll have half
and
the people
command
trying to
respect.
fight you.
Well, fuck half the people.
If you go,
I'm being a realist. There's,
No, I'm
there's
just
no
kidding.
there's no figure in Wheeling
No.
right now that commands that much respect.
no, I agree. I was just messing, but it's true.
Yeah.
You said that in public, someone would be like, "Bro, what'd you say? I'll fucking beat your ass. I'm an alpha. I'll alpha you, bro."
You won't say that to my face. I'm literally saying it to your face.
I
right
literally just said it to your face.
It's cool we're in this time sphere because did you start how far did you get on 1883?
Like I said, so no more of an update since last episode. I got halfway through the first episode and I was going to finish it, but then I started talking with Brooke and we're going to go through it together now. But we're in the middle of the Mandalorian, so we're going to finish the Mandalorian. Then
You
do that.
rewatched Mandalorian?
I'm rewatching it,
Mm.
yeah, so she could catch up on it. We're 3 episodes into season 2.
Oh, folk, yeah.
This
right into the
doesn't
nitty gritty.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
this doesn't spoil anything, but there's a cool scene in this latest episode where obviously they're traveling to where they're going. Everybody knows that, but it just the land they run into, it's just like nothing's around, and then all of a sudden a tornado breaks out, and it's cool to think, okay, well they must be in the Midwest and Tornado Valley. Like it was just cool to see how, like, I mean, obviously it's a show, so it's going to be dramatized, but how they as a group would handle something like that coming out of nowhere. Because it's now I'm so conditioned to where we probably won't ever get a tornado around here, so I don't really think about it. Yeah, knock on wood for real.
Yeah,
But
you
it
say
was
that,
just
and then
really
next
cool.
week there'll be a fucking tornado just busting through the trees.
Just busting nuts.
Well, like I said, I think honestly, there's a very good chance at the end of 1883, I'm gonna like it better.
I love it.
because
It's just crazy how different. It really, they are so different.
well, like I said last week, I love period pieces. So it's seeing a different time in history. It's another big reason why I like Boardwalk Empire. It really, really does a good job of portraying how life is.
And they announced confirmed Yellowstone season 5.
Yes, I saw
Mhm.
that. Yep.
That's fucking great news.
I'm guessing that's probably the last one. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
You think it's gonna end already?
I think I do. I'm surprised. I didn't even know if there was going to be a season 5.
I was
The
thinking,
way season 4 ended, I was like, okay, there's probably going to be. But originally, I didn't know. I thought maybe season 4 was going to be the last one.
But they have to go tie up the whole Indian
right,
reservation
so that's
stuff too.
I was thinking of this today. Actually, I was thinking to myself because I got bored earlier today, and I put on the opening scene to season 4, which it's that gunfight. It's just great.
It's fucking
But-
unreal.
I was thinking like, well, how much further is this show going to go? I was thinking 2 more seasons.
Maybe.
I was thinking there was going to be a season of like tying up this whole like airport debacle, and then a whole 6th season dedicated to like the final Indian conflict. Because that's how I feel the show is going to have to end.
Yeah.
It was the conflict that started the show, and it's been on the back burner till now. It's got to end the show too. That's what I think.
Yeah. I agree, and I feel like we're gonna get a lot more backstory and history too, just of where 1883 is going and what's like tying in now. Like
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, I actually have a question about 1883, and feel free to spoil this for me. Is there, because they have a great shot to do this if they want. Is there any actual historical figures in the show? Do they mention anyone that was like known in history?
I don't believe
'Cause they
so.
could do that.
They could. I don't believe so yet though.
Yeah.
Was that one battle a real Remember, you don't see the battle. It's like the war, whatever he fought in. Beginning of what episode it shows?
Oh yeah, I'm sure with the Tom Hanks cameo.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was real.
That's what because I'm pretty sure it started off with like a picture,
Yeah.
and I think that was a real war picture. I
Yeah.
thought. I could be completely wrong.
It's just funny to listen to them talk about America like in their time, and it's kind of like how people talk about it now. They're literally running from the East Coast because they're like, God, I can't stand how things have turned. You know, I don't know. I know we touched on this last week, but it's still crazy to think that there was a group of people that were crazy enough to leave their countries and come over here on boats. And then there were people crazy enough to be like, okay, let's keep walking through this rock when we have no idea what we're going to run into. I don't know.
Yeah, it is crazy that people literally just fled their countries.
I mean, yeah, if
And
you
like really, if you think about
if you
that,
really
it's
do
crazy.
think about it, they thought
Having
their
no
lives
clue where they were going.
no idea. They
Yeah.
thought their lives were so bad that they risked their whole family and life getting on a boat, probably not realizing how long it was going to take to float all the way over here. And then you get here, talk about a language barrier. I mean, that was probably a real legit language barrier.
That would be like us, like sneaking on a spaceship going to Mars or something.
For real, it would be.
Be like the Earth's about to explode because of freaking pollution and stuff, and then we're like, oh, we got to figure out how to get out of here, and we just hack into one of Elon Musk's spaceships and shoot off to the moon, and then we get there trying to learn how to speak Martian, and we just don't know how.
I honestly, like at this point, I don't know why we haven't started colonizing the moon. Dead serious.
Dude, I've heard some crazy thing. Like I don't know don't quote me on this. Like he thinks like in a scary like short amount of time, like that there will actually get people on Mars.
So
He said like 50 years or something
dude,
crazy like
did
that.
Didn't something fail though? I'm pretty sure. Like they were
Probably.
trying to do something there and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Some sort of vegetation. I don't know.
did you see Sebastian Stan was on Hot Ones yesterday?
No, I need to catch up on Hot Ones.
Sebastian Stan was on Hot Ones and he got asked a question. I guess he's a space nerd or whatever. He got asked a question about like his favorite theory or something about space travel, and he's like, I'm pretty sure I read theoretically that if you surrounded Mars with like over 150 different satellites, that the satellites would cause something that would melt all the stuff, which would form an ocean on Mars. And he's like, boom, then we could sustain life on Mars.
That's insane. I was literally
Wow.
just going to say that because I heard Elon. That's Elon's thing. He's like, there's this piece of ice that all we have to do is figure out how to warm up that ice, let it go to water, let the water go around, and then we could make Mars look like Earth.
Dude.
Yeah, create life on
Yeah.
Mars.
Which is crazy to think about.
I heard another crazy
kinda
thing.
terrifying.
Pick it up and move it a little closer.
I
to
heard
the sun.
another crazy, like off the wall thing that the guy who created Ethereum, he's like a super genius, super nerd guy, and he was on some podcast or whatever. And I don't know how it brought up, but like he asked, like, how close do you think humans are to becoming immortal or whatever? He goes, I think like 50%. There's like a 50% chance that people living now will be able to live till they're 1,000. I was like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But it's scary when you hear like super like genius nerds say things like that, because you're like, they know things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
Like what are they in on right
Yeah.
now that
Yeah.
that we're not privy to in the public?
Well, I can't remember who it was, and it was probably 2 years ago, but there's been this guy that's been on Rogan that, like, that's his field that he studies or whatever. And I guess it has something to do with, I don't know. I'm just regurgitating this. I have no idea what any of this means, but we have telomeres in our body. And I guess when the older we get, the telomeres get smaller and smaller, and they're figuring out how to regenerate the telomeres to make them grow more, which would make us be able to live longer and also kind of de-age our bodies. And that guy said he thinks it's at least 10 to 15 years away that everybody will have the opportunity to be able to live till they're at least 150 years old.
I don't know if I've said on here, but that's
That'd
the
be
guy.
dope.
The guy that wrote *Sapiens*. He said like 150, 200s, like might be this generation or
Dude,
the next.
I would
one.
be pumped if we got
Dude, I'd be real pumped.
if we
Yeah.
got to, because like we're still gonna die. Like I don't want to live forever. That's weird to me. Like that's kind of. Don't you think that's kind of scary? The
Yeah.
thought of
It's
living forever.
It's absolutely
I wouldn't
terrifying.
wanna live
I
forever.
actually, I guess I'm the only one that wants to live forever.
But like,
But I say that now as a young
Yeah.
man. Like,
maybe.
I could hit 100 years old and be like, dude, this sucks. I want out.
But like
get
200,
me out.
yeah, 200. Hell, yeah, I'm so down.
Oh, dude,
for
if I
200 years
could
old.
live 200 years, I'd be fucking pumped. The amount of shit that you would see go down. I think that's the coolest thing. I think that's
Yes.
like, it's a FOMO thing. I don't want to miss out on history when I'm dead.
But like,
History I'll never get to see.
imagine being like your master Yoda of your family. Like you're just the old ass fucking dude, like walking around
Yeah.
talking to your great grandson,
Yeah, speaking in riddles to them.
and just telling him like, do or do not. There is no try. Like just go fucking do it.
Yeah,
like,
Right?
You,
Like, that's
you ever
awesome.
think about like the theory or whatever you want to call it of like people that died like the day before a major piece of history happened?
it's weird.
I find that so weird.
Mhm.
Like they just never know that happened.
Yeah.
Well, and
They died thinking this version, like image of the earth.
yeah, like imagine if we are able to live to 200 years old. Just picture the 1900s being alive all the way until like 2100 or whatever it would be. Imagine how advanced our lives will be in the next 150, 175 years. If we even make it that far.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the scary thing.
Do
Will
you-
we make it?
This might be weird, but I wonder what like 1900 to 2000 is like crazy different. I mean,
Yes.
do you think was an opportunity cost or what? Or no, that's not the word. I forgot. No, that's totally different. Like, do you think that slows down? Is what I'm trying to say. Like, do you think the speed of advancing like slows down?
Learning
eventually?
curve.
I forget.
No,
it's
I
it's.
know what you're
I,
saying.
I messed
I know-
up saying
no,
that, but
you're
it's a.
I know what you're saying.
It's
but
like a finance term,
It
sort of.
this is going to sound weird, but I think it depends on us, like the regular, normal human people that aren't able to create this technology. Because somebody could create something, but if it doesn't catch on with everybody, it's going to die out. So it's going to matter. I don't think it matters so much on what they're able to invent and what people are able to invent going forward. I think it matters on if that interests the human people. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
that makes sense. But to his question, like I guess specifically, in my opinion, I do think there is a peak,
Yeah,
and then like advancement kind of
because like
tables off.
even like air
Because-
travel, like the possibilities that we're like experiencing now in air travel. If you've told somebody that has never seen a car in their life, like they hadn't even invented the Model T in 1907,
Yeah,
Right.
That's true.
like that would blow their mind. Like,
yeah.
is there going to be anything
Yeah, I get what you mean.
in 2100 that it's going to be similar to that?
that our brains like couldn't
Probably.
even like think about.
Yeah,
I think eventually, the way the world's going, there's probably going to be some, and to keep it on travel, there's probably going to be some type of travel to where, regardless if it's air, water, underground, whatever it is, that we're going to be able to get anywhere in the world in like 2 hours.
Yeah, like they've already talked about it. It's basically like you would consider it a underground train system, but it's not really. Like it works on like pressure.
Like
The
Like it's like
tectonic
you're getting
plates.
shot through fucking tubes.
like platform 9 3/4.
yes,
Just
like
running through a portal.
it'll start. They've already talked about that technology and that it can be done. It's just like that's so much infrastructure.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
according to Rogan, Elon has like tunnels built already underneath LA.
wait,
and
what do
Vegas.
they call it? There's a name for it. It's the
Hyperlink.
Hyperloop.
Or Hyperloop, yeah.
Hyperloop.
Like if the say they first of all, this would be, I think it would be like trillions of dollars, if not more. I think to Hyperloop connect the whole country would be like, could be in the quadrillions, I swear. I think it'd be absolutely insane, and it would take close to 20 years to complete it. Like that's a lot of, you're having to work around already in place infrastructure in cities and
Yep.
stuff like that. Is just, that's decades of work.
And I think it's wild because I don't know if this would happen. It kind of goes back to the big cities of America, I guess you could say. But with trains like that, you truly could live wherever you wanted to and
Yeah.
work in
You
another.
could.
It's like
It'd
an
be
hour.
insane.
You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I live in Wheeling, but I just got to get on this train, and it's an hour commute to Atlanta.
And can you
Yeah,
imagine
my
like,
morning train?
Yeah.
the shake up to like the because why would you live in New York?
Exactly. And but is that kind of a good thing though? Does that spread people out more to where it makes things more even,
More
and-
socially distanced.
yeah, more socially distanced. Wear your mask. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like it's wild for me to think I could apply to a job and I'm just naming off random cities, but Houston, and my 2-hour commute in the morning would just be getting on a train, and I'd be in Houston in 2 hours, and I'd work in Houston, and then I would just, my day's done, hop on a train, and now I'm back in Wheeling, West Virginia.
Yeah, that's wild to think about.
It is. It's cool though. I mean, I don't know. Me being positive, I feel like it could help things because you wouldn't have these big condensed areas and these big condensed cities unless people still wanted to do that. But I feel like a lot of people go to those cities because that's the land of opportunity. You have more opportunities to do this and that and the other thing, where living like where your actual home residence, it wouldn't really matter,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Well, that's the same thing with the metaverse, right? Like that's
Yeah.
Exactly.
kind of the experience they want to get with that.
And what's more scary, like the metaverse or
I think the metaverse, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
dude.
because there's such a like we've talked about the downfall of social interaction. At least you would be in person.
well, they
Yeah.
already had to put bubbles around the avatars because there was virtual groping going on. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even trying
Dude,
to make a
it's
joke.
like the
It's-
whole metaverse
it's-
thing to me.
I hate
is
it.
Ridiculous.
I hate
think
every
it's
second
the
of it.
dumbest fucking thing. It's just like we live on like a 1 in a fucking gazillion chance planet, like with life on it like this. This whole planet, I've said this before, should be like a paradise. We should be working to like make this the best place for everyone to live, wherever you want to go. But instead, we're just building fake fucking verses to live in because the current one sucks. It's like if society put in the same energy into just like making the actual world a better place, you wouldn't need a metaverse.
Which sucks because where the internet's going, you have money hungry people that are only thinking money in mind, and it's I agree with you. I'm just hoping that this is all just some big fad and that it ends up dialing down to where both can exist, but one, like the metaverse, doesn't become the it factor. Like, okay,
Well, it'll be scary, dude. There will be some people that like solely live their lives in that,
yeah.
which is kind of terrifying.
Like, imagine not seeing me for 3 years and I just lived in the metaverse and you like came over to my house and I was 700 pounds, just like laying in bed with my headset on, just like eating pizza and stuff, just living a life that I looked like a fucking model in a GQ magazine.
like I think it's gonna make people mentally ill.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna their brain's gonna get so used to one thing that they won't be able to like process the like actual fucking Earth. Their ancestors are gonna be looking down on them like, "Oh, you fucking moron."
You see how crazy people got for staying in their houses for however many
Yes,
months.
exactly.
Imagine if that's like a thing where you're invited to do it. People want to do it. Like, I don't know. It is scary.
I have this like crazy distorted like future reality that I think of. Like, I just want to live like a simple life, like on some land, kind of isolated a little bit. I just think of myself like on my land, and like my kids and my grandkids, they just live life in the metaverse, and like I never see them, and it's like an empty fucking world, like Matrix
Yeah.
type shit, and I'm just like,
It's like Interstellar, just a bunch of
Like-
cornfields.
like you're one of the last people actually living
Mm.
off the actual
Yeah.
planet,
That's crazy.
not hooked up to like some computer.
I
Like,
just
scary shit.
I just get worried to think that the metaverse is going to become the predominant place where you make an income and you make money in the metaverse. And I mean, this is an extreme scenario, but it kind of scares me to think that, okay, if you want to live a financially stable life, it's something you'll have to do in the metaverse. And then if you want to be one of those people that lives on the land and things like that, are we going to have to revert back to where like we're going to have to go and hunt for our own food because we won't have money because we don't participate in this
I don't
phenomenon.
think it'll always go. Everything will go straight to the metaverse, just because people need to actually eat. Like, people actually need electric, and there's always going to need to be these real jobs that people have. You know what I mean? Like, it's never just going to be that's what everyone is doing, and then we're all fat like the people in Wall-E on our floating chairs and shit.
Someone said, I forget who it was, but they're imagining a world where it's like robots, but you are controlling it inside of this metaverse. So, like, the manual labor would be like you sitting at home doing this, but you're really like shucking corn or whatever. You know what I mean?
That's scary, though.
It's scary. I don't think it's going there, but it's scary to think about.
It's terrifying, honestly. I'm sitting here thinking of just like so many life scenarios that wouldn't exist in the like. How this is gonna sound weird, but like you have sex with your significant other, and it feels good because you're really feeling it. Like a relationship in the metaverse or whatever, robot sex, you're not going to be feeling anything. It's just
Get your,
weird fucking shit.
Get that haptic feedback.
I was going to
suit.
say, get that full haptic boot suit.
Yeah,
Dude,
from Ready
this
Player
is
One.
Just too weird. Like this is an idea, in my opinion, that just cannot get fully implemented. And I have some faith because now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, like we're in our 20s for now, and there's how many generations of people in their 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s that also have a big input in how the world runs. You got to think that most of those generations, most of the people in those generations wouldn't fully move their life to a metaverse type thing because they've already lived 3+ decades in the normal world. Like that type of shit doesn't compute to them.
I agree, but here's where I'll play devil's advocate real quick. I get worried because you do have all those generations like you were talking about. Eventually, those generations are going to die off, obviously. And the ones that are controlling the metaverse, unfortunately, are the most powerful companies in the world. And they're younger like us, like the Zuckerbergs and whoever else is CEO anywhere else. Like that's where
that guy,
yeah,
that other guy,
that other guy.
That's where I get worried because when you think about it, they're predominantly younger, where normally the organizations or whoever would be that like run the company, like the deep state or whatever, I'm assuming they're probably in their 60s, 70s. You know what I mean? That's where I just get worried, and that's where my devil's advocate brain comes in, because it's like, I think the way you do 100%, but I also know that the people that are really the ones that are in true control are still very young, and it's like they just, by a tweak of a little algae tweak, they could just little algorithm tweak. They could just twist the way things
algae
go.
Tweak?
I don't know.
No, I get it.
I get scared.
100%
No, I get it.
see what
I'm
you're saying.
panicking right now. It's getting hot in here.
All I know is for myself, I won't live that kind of life. So I guess that's all you need to worry about is yourself.
Dude, imagine not ever going and seeing a beach, or ever going and partying on a lake, or ever going in a hike in the mountains, and you want to just go home and put on some fucking suit to run around on a goddamn treadmill.
Or just like simple things.
Yeah, like
Imagine like never seeing your friends again, like face to face, like having genuine moments.
well, and then some dickhead will be like, well, dude, you do get to see him face
Yeah,
to face.
all
Dude,
my
they're
friends-
right there.
We all meet up in the fucking metaverse.
Yeah, we're just fucking chilling. It's like, dude, it's not the same thing, you asshole.
I hope there's always us to be like, no, fuck that idea. It's fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
seriously, that's fucking dumb.
Well, and that's kind of too where I know I didn't really answer your question, but that's kind of how I think with the technology advancement, because I could be wrong. This is me being positive, but I choose to believe there's more people, at least in this country, that think like us than the other way around.
Yeah.
I truly, truly believe that.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
I have
so.
to agree.
Yeah.
people were doing the same thing in '95 whenever like desktops or whenever the year was?
Probably.
I probably.
100%. I mean, and again, is it just because as humans we don't like change? Like maybe
that's exactly what it is.
you know, like, but still, I choose to believe that there are people that realize that being in this kind of universe all the time and consuming all that stuff, as humans and animals, we're not built to do that. You know, obviously we're more advanced than animals, but there's a reason why they haven't evolved to where they're not living in nature and doing their nature things. You need it, and I don't know. There is something about nature vibes. You feel something run through your body.
Feel one with the earth, bro.
Yes.
It's the way.
Go
This is
walk,
the way.
go walk barefoot out in the grass and just look at a tree.
That's
and
a
just
thing, though.
frickin'
Like,
Every
Be
every
connected.
mental health thing you ever see, it's like you need to go outside.
and,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
say take your shoes off and I swear put your feet flat on the grass,
Dude, it's like we're the freaking Navi and Pandora, bro. All the roots are freaking veins of the earth, and we're all connected.
dude. Again,
Fuck.
I don't want to sound like a fucking know-it-all or be a dick here, but if you don't think that the nature and the vibes and the energy recharge us as people, you're the problem.
You ever just climb a tree when you were a kid and you just
Yeah.
felt great?
I
Yeah.
loved climbing trees as a kid.
Yeah.
What, are you gonna go fucking climb a tree in the metaverse?
Dude, I
Fuck you.
hung out in the fucking woods most days as a kid. I loved exploring.
And you probably felt like a wild ass bandit. You were enjoying it
Just
out there.
felt like the man. Like I was just my own man.
You were
Yeah.
just Mowgli.
I was in the woods just fucking kicking it.
I'm a man.
Did anyone ever build a tree house? Because I always wanted to do that.
I always wanted to as well. We
Because
never
every
did.
movie they build a tree house.
Yeah, they do.
Maybe we should just build one.
I never
Yeah.
built a treehouse. No.
You want to hear something cool
Yeah.
about in McConaughey's book he wrote?
Oh, that part's sweet. Yeah.
Dude, it was crazy. Like when he was I forget the part, but he ended up living with, was it his
It
dad?
was his dad in a trailer.
Just
yeah.
in a trailer, and he was like, he was like, fuck this, and he would just go out and just mess around. But he'd go far out in the woods, and there was like a lumber company that was out there, and he kept stealing wood to like get enough wood to build a tree house. Anyway, when it was all said and done, he built like I can't remember, it was like a 17-story tree house in a tree from
Fuck.
stolen lumber from a
Like
lumber yard.
he'd get up at like 4 every
Yeah.
whatever it was. Like
In the
he would
summer.
sit there and wait for his dad to leave, and
Yeah.
every day he would go and steal like a couple pieces of lumber.
Yeah.
That's fire.
That's a cool story.
And at the end of the summer, he had this like biggest tree house you've
Yeah.
ever seen in your life.
It was like so many stories.
Imagine being the parent.
yeah.
Being like,
well,
how did you do this?
Dude,
Where'd you get
At
this
that
stuff?
point, you couldn't even be mad. You'd be like,
yeah,
Good job.
Impressive.
like, good job, son.
I always wanted to build a treehouse. It just never happened. Well, we built like a bunch of shit in our woods, though. We built like a couple like big tire forts. For whatever reason, if you went far enough into my woods, you hit a like a little creek, and there was just fucking hundreds of old used tires. That's
Really?
like, I swear,
That's fire.
hundreds.
I mean, it's not
They're like
fire,
someone must have dumped there. I can just remember one day, like me and a group of like 5 other kids just started dragging tires up, and we built this big tire fort in the woods. I bet it's still there. We did shit like that, like built. Never up in a tree though, unfortunately. I wish that would have been
yeah.
awesome.
So, one time, me and Cody Connect were like in deep woods. I think it was by his pap's house, and like found all these cool bottles, and like there was like all these containers. We kept bringing them back, and then it became the point like his pap was like, "Yeah, that was probably a meth lab. Like, don't go out that way
Whoa,
anymore."
shit.
And we were like, "That makes a lot of
weird.
sense."
That's weird you said that. Like, yeah, like we all in the same creek area in the woods. It was like tons of old tires piled up, like hundreds, and there was like all like old school glass bottles.
They're making shine.
Like maybe like old school glass bottles.
Yeah,
like,
because that's like every
bunches of
woods I
shit.
feel like area I've been in. There's always like old 7-Up bottles.
and
Yeah.
it's like how long has this shit been fucking sitting here? Like you'd like to know the story behind that.
Yeah.
Cool
Dude, yeah,
stuff.
it makes me think of moonshiners when they're always like hiding out in the woods and they have their own like buildings and shit that they build and make some goddamn shine for the boys. Boys and
Lawless.
the girls. Lawless, yep, facts.
That would be cool to just make your own moonshine.
Yeah, I just wish I mean, again, I just wish I knew how to do
Yeah.
things.
Moonshine's just not enjoyable to drink
It-
though.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's
Yeah,
not
like
enjoyable.
hard. Yeah,
That white lightning.
I've had
Yeah.
moonshine like 3 times in my life, and it's
Dude, it's rough. It's rough.
the first time I ever did it was like a Maraschino, whatever, however you say it, cherry. It's been soaked in shine for like a year.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm never drinking moonshine. Like,
Dude, I can understand why they drank it though, not solely for the pleasure, solely for the taste, but if you are fucking cold and you're outside
Yeah.
and you need warmed up, you take a shot of shine and you're just like
Yeah.
your body's on
Oh, yeah.
fire.
They legitimately fucking burn.
because
Yeah,
before I was
yeah.
like, I've been drinking, like, and then I couldn't imagine anything feeling like that. Just the worst experience ever.
Yeah. But I guess like when that's all you could get back in the day, like if you were trying to get turned up, I mean, why not?
Well, yeah. It's disgusting though. There's somebody that has like pure moonshine that's always at the tailgates in Morgantown.
And it's like, no, I don't want it.
I haven't said yes to a shot
Yeah.
of moonshine in fucking years.
It's like, bro, what are you trying to prove? I don't want this. This is not good.
And like it's always there. It's every game. They make it's the clear moonshine, but they use food coloring or dye or whatever and color it the opposite team, like whoever we're playing's colors.
Dude,
And it's like
anything
What is that like? Metaphorically
Yeah, we're
drinking the
metaphorically,
blood
yeah.
of the other team.
yes,
Dude, anything that can catch on fire probably shouldn't be put in our bodies.
No.
I mean,
No, you make a good point. You make a really good
anything
point.
that you can just be like when a fucking
Yeah, I
flame.
mean, what about when we were in high school and like early college? I think only a few years in college. Like you could still buy Everclear on the shelves.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Dude, that's stuff. That's grain alcohol, dude. Like that's serious shit.
Dude, and just to think
What?
back. Sorry, I'm just thinking of this in my head. It's like we made Jello shots out of with Everclear. No wonder they wouldn't become Jello, dude. It's just fucking oil that
Yeah,
you put in your body.
Dude, it's bad stuff. I threw a fucking party. I think maybe honestly no. Yeah, I think first party that I ever threw, and like I was trying to be cool and bought like bottles of liquor for the party.
Absolute.
Just have like a open bar,
Right? It was that because there's a bunch.
It was blueberry absolute.
There was an orange one.
but there was a bottle of Everclear. And dude, the bottle of Everclear was just gone so fast. I was like, what the fuck, guys? Bunch of fucking alcoholics here. Like that's dangerous stuff, I swear. I don't know why I bought it. I was just trying to be cool.
No wonder.
I was worried. I was like, I'm gonna kill somebody.
No wonder we're all so fucked, dude. We were drinking moonshine when we were 13 years old.
It's bad. That was a bad party.
Ugh.
My house got trashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
My nips are pointy right now.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking freezing down
Dude,
here
like
again.
I didn't mean to completely just go off the wall with that, but like I have an issue. Like I have pretty like tiny nipples. They're pretty tiny.
All right.
I got tiny nipples, and they get like really pointy, and like I can't help it
I
in
don't
a
think
shirt.
It's an issue, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
My nipples get hard all the
But
time.
dude, like,
They're-
when I
they're
wear-
literally hard.
When
right
I
now.
wear like certain shirts, like you just can straight
Yeah.
up just see my nips.
That's okay.
nah, dude, the best
Dude.
science experiment you can do is run up to somebody, flick their nipple, and it gets
Yeah.
hard in
I
9 seconds.
I thought it was really beautiful when she was talking about her
nips and
nips and shit.
Dude, it happens to me all the time. People say it to me. They're like, I could see your nipples through your shirt. I'm like, okay.
What do you want me to do about
Yeah,
it?
what do you
Yeah.
want me to do about it? Put a bra
Can't
on?
help it.
Yeah, like,
Can't-
sorry.
Can't help it.
Sorry, I don't
it's
have cushion.
completely normal, but that just put a thought in my head. You ever noticed? Do you guys ever watch Friends?
Yes.
Never. Yeah, I wasn't like deeply into it, but I've seen
Me,
it.
yeah, I wasn't deeply into it either.
'Cause I know some
but I used to watch
people
a lot.
that were real into Friends.
Dude, if you pay attention, like all the girls in that shows, their nipples are constantly showing through their
Oh
shirt.
yeah, yeah.
Like poking. So
Constantly.
it's like
No.
I don't know if they ever wore bras.
No, yeah. No, I know you're right. They must have just
seriously,
never
it's like
wore.
every other scene.
must have
one
never
of the
wore
three
bras.
girls' nipples is
Which I'm hey, I'm for it. I said it today in my morning milk. Like, just I'm all about freeing the boobs, girls. Like,
yeah.
if you don't want to wear a bra, don't wear a bra. Just live your life. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think bras should be mandatory at all. Put a shirt on. That's all you need.
Dude,
who gives a fuck
it-
if you can see the shape of nipples through the shirt?
It's the pussification of America because let's be real, who gets offended by that? Who gets offended by seeing
Not
a
me.
nipple?
I think girls should be allowed to be comfortable.
Guys
Yeah.
or girls, nobody gets offended. Why can't I have a nice TT on the TV? Why? Like, when did we get to a point where all the good fucking shows have to be streamed because, can't put this on cable network because old fucking George will be all pissed off about so-and-so's character? Like, who fucking cares? If you don't like something, don't watch it. If you don't want to see something, don't consume it. It doesn't mean you have to take it away from everybody. Free the nipple. Free the nipple.
Hashtag free the nipple.
Free it.
I'm with you. Dude,
Yeah. Let's go.
it's just kind of like beating a dead horse now.
Yeah, it
like,
is. Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't
I mean,
even know.
a lot of networks have gotten better. Maybe not showing nipples, but like
Start.
the
Maybe not
content,
specifically nipples.
Like
but-
FXX is like
Yeah.
uncut.
But again, that's not a normal channel. You have to like pay extra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to get that. Yeah, we're all spoiled.
I guess it has to do with kids, probably just like channel surfing.
yeah.
They don't want any kids to like come. Funny story. One time when I was super young, and I to this day don't know how it happened because when I was this age, we only ever had basic fucking cable. It was late at night, maybe like 11, 12 at night, maybe even later. I don't know, but I was young, like probably 8 years old. I'm channel surfing, flipping through the channels, and boom, I flipped through a channel, topless chick.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Was it Cat House? We're on HBO.
I
Oh.
I
Oh.
don't think we would have had HBO back then. Like I said, it was like basic like I'm picturing the remote. It was like pre-Comcast.
Okay.
I had to have been. I could just remember being like,
Whoa.
holy shit, like what the fuck have I stumbled upon?
Why am I hard in my
And
pants?
and I remember I like just kept going because I got real nervous. I was like, oh, I shouldn't have seen that. Like I should have seen that. But then I like flipped back real quick and was like, oh my God. And then flipped back again, like got rid of it. I was like that nervous. Like,
Dude,
Dude,
I
that just,
should not have
I
been
don't,
seeing
I don't
that.
know what you because I was peeing, but it made me think of the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire when MJ's getting mugged and it starts to rain and she's in her dress or whatever and she's all wet and there's a part where like Spider-Man's zipping away and she's like looking up and it's just camera pointing down at her. I used to pause at that all the time
Dude,
because she like I always did.
I
Like,
miss
she
the
was
days.
wet and like you could kind of see her boobs.
yeah,
like,
I miss the days when you had like a VCR or like a DVD player. And like, I remember this perfectly. There's a scene in Friday Night Lights
Okay.
Yeah.
where you see the boob for a split second. You would like fucking wait and you would get
Yeah.
right there.
Pause.
And then you would just stare at it.
I remember I
was-
couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, there's boob in this.
I had
movie.
I had my pause scene as well. It was in the second Charlie's Angels movie with Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, all like really hot. And there was a part in the movie where like they were naked and they were like they were all like hiding in a statue or something like that. Like 3 separate statues that were like in the shape of humans. And then like when everyone left the room, they like broke out of the statue because they were like undercover, but they were naked when they broke out. And I used to like try to hurry up and pause to catch them like midair naked before they landed on the ground. Because, you know, in the movie, it happened so fast, you can't see anything.
Yeah. No, those were just exciting.
You know what
times.
movie I keep thinking of when we're talking about boobs and when I'm being little and seeing boobs? It was Dukes of Hazzard with Johnny Knoxville.
Oh, it's a good
Weren't
movie.
there
yeah,
like
yeah.
scenes like where there's a bunch of boobs or whatever? Right?
Yes.
Like they go to the
in
they go to
in
the,
door- in the
sorority, house.
house. Yeah.
That just keeps. I was trying to think like, man, like what did I used to get pumped about when I was little and boobs would pop up?
And Good Luck Chuck.
I think American Pie 2 is a big one.
But yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's tons of movies that we could start naming off from when we were younger.
I
where,
know.
like you got so excited to see a pair of boobs.
Yeah.
Caddyshack was one for me.
Free
That
the
chick
net.
was so hot.
Just free the net.
Hell yeah, guys.
American Pie 2 is definitely a big one. The scene
The-
in where they're painting and they get caught.
Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
yeah.
that was definitely a big
That was
one.
awesome.
Yeah, they were pretty
The
big.
the You Go We Go scene. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, okay.
Those are such good movies,
Dude, it
bro.
sucks. Dude, I've been trying to watch them lately. They are not on any streaming service.
Dude, I have all the DVDs.
So do I. They're at my parents', so I need to get those.
I have all the DVDs and I have nothing. Well, I guess I could watch them on my Xbox, so I take that back. But it's like, it is funny and weird now when you go into people's houses and they don't have a VCR or DVD. Because that was always or Blu-ray. Like, that was always the premier thing. You always saw, like, the cable box and then where you would watch your movies.
Dude, I remember when we first got a DVD player and you didn't have to rewind the disc, the DVD. And it like blew my mind.
Oh, that was a big deal.
Dude,
What? Like that was
big deal.
See, like that's like one of those small
I
things.
didn't even know that was a thing.
That's like one of those small things. Like we were talking about how you say like 100 years later, like your brain couldn't even think about flying an airplane or whatever. Just little like advances like
Yeah.
that, like
And they were a big
rewinding
deal.
your VHS tape, like that. I used to hate that. I was like,
No,
oh,
I
who-
honestly forgot about
dude,
that.
I
who
can
forgot to
remember.
rewind Lion King?
Yeah,
blah,
you
blah,
pop
blah.
it in, it'd already be like at the on the credits.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
I had to rewind it.
dude,
now.
I can literally remember at my grandma's house. That's all we had was VHS,
Mhm.
Yep.
VHSs, and I don't know if you remember this. Like when you would rewind it in the actual VCR, it would take a while.
Yeah,
They sold these back then like a separate thing. You would pull your VHS out of the VCR and put it in a separate like it was only made for rewinding, and it went so much faster than the
Whoa.
actual machine.
Damn.
I can remember that technology, and I guarantee when that technology came out, people were like, "Holy shit, this is a game changer!"
Dude, and it's weird.
I can rewind my VHSs like fucking like 5 minutes faster.
And remember, you used to be able to like record things over Like-
yeah.
like-
if
what
you
was
got
on
If
there.
you got a blank tape, you could put it into your VCR while you were watching cable and record what was on the
Yeah.
TV.
and then you could use that same tape and re-record over
Over it,
something.
yeah.
Like it's mind blowing to me, and it's nothing that is even around now.
No.
I wonder if anybody ever got caught doing that
Oh,
by like,
sure.
by like the NFL or
For
like movies.
sure, dude. For sure.
Because
you
you
ever notice how you don't see that
That-
anymore?
I was
I
just about
didn't
to
think of
say,
it
yeah.
till now. Yeah,
Before every movie, it was like,
the FBI warning.
yeah.
Dude, that is
How did-
wild.
You don't
how do
see
they
that
catch people
anymore.
though?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I guess if you were selling, the only way I feel like if you were selling them on
yeah.
the
Have,
street or
have you ever
something.
seen a DVD with like a guy in a theater with a camera? Because I think I have seen like one or two of those.
I watched one of the Fast and the Furious movies
Back in the
like
day.
that.
Bootleg.
Bootlegs, yeah.
Bootlegged. It was like I think it was the 6th one. I was just so excited. I was like, because dude, at one point, not too long ago, like in college, I used to have like websites where I could watch all these movies that were still in theaters.
Yep,
And
I remember
I'm sure
that.
there's websites that still exist like that. I just don't know them anymore. But
Well, that's why Pam and Tommy's still so funny to me, because it's, to my knowledge, that is the first sex tape that was sold on the internet.
yeah,
So like they're all they call it the World Wide Web. They're all like, "What is this?" Like, yeah, dude, we can put it up on a website and people can buy it and nobody will know it's us. Like, that was only in the 90s, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so dated now to where I just sit back and think, even though I was only like 3 or 4 or however old I was, I can't believe I was alive during this period of time.
Yeah, so I bet you like the metaverse is like that for us. How they were like, oh, the internet. You know what I mean?
No,
That's what the
100%.
metaverse is gonna be. We're gonna be like, it's the metaverse. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
and so we always talk
Yeah.
about how we were the test dummy generation for like social media and all that stuff. Just it scares me to think there's going to be a generation of kids that are born with the metaverse, like how some kids were born with the iPhone. You know what I mean? And that it'll just keep being such a I don't know. I scare myself every time I keep talking
yeah,
about it.
it is fucking scary.
But we can shift gears here. Lots of movie trailers and news coming out this week, and I really think it's because the Super Bowl Sunday is coming around, and I'm hopeful that we're gonna get at least a Kenobi big trailer, and I hope we get a big Doctor Strange trailer too with some kind of cameo in it.
I don't think they'll show any cameo in Doctor Strange trailer.
You don't think?
I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But yeah, all I really care about, I just want to see the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer.
Yes,
I want it to be big and dramatic. Freaking commercial start is just straight black, and then you just hear a lightsaber ignite,
Be sick.
and then just all this shit happens. That's what I want to
Well,
see.
there's already drama with the commercials. I saw Pat McAfee talking about it today, where Weed Maps, I think it's called, is like a delivery service for weed in legalized
Hell
states.
yeah.
And they tried to pay $7 million for a 30-second spot, and they declined it because it was weed.
See, like,
get the fuck,
It's
get the
so
fuck out of
dumb,
here,
man.
grow up.
Does my money not spend here?
Well, exactly. Is my money not good enough for you? You know, it's like that
Yeah, I mean,
situation.
come
It's
on,
trash.
man.
Dude.
whatever.
I have nothing to say about that.
Fuck.
That's
Fuck.
just stupid.
We're giving them too much clout talking about them.
For real. The new Jurassic World trailer,
Park,
though.
dude.
I haven't seen that yet. The
Oh.
trailer, obviously.
You need to watch it.
Everyone's back.
Dr. Grant.
All the characters, you mean? Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
All the way.
Dr.
back.
Grant aged like a fine wine.
Did
he
dude,
not?
He looks like a fucking salt and pepper king.
He does.
Is that
the main guy
Main
from the
guy.
original?
Jeff Goldblum?
No, he's in it, though.
He's in it though.
He's
Sam
You know,
Neill?
Sam Neill.
Sam
yeah.
Neill.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But dude, me and JT were freaking out in a good way because it's so cool
Yeah, I love how they did
that
this.
they made this dinosaur evolve and it has feathers.
I-
It's sick.
It's like in the winter time. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's its way of evolving to stay warm. But then that's like, oh man, people say like birds came from dinosaurs, and it's so cool. I love how they did that.
Yeah. So I was
Blue has a baby.
Blue
the
has a
raptor.
baby, dude.
So there's a little baby raptor running around. I'm like, this is awesome.
I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah.
But okay, so you talked about it and I saw things afterwards, but I missed completely the whole Adidas thing.
Oh, it was just a tweet. Like
I missed it though. Like I didn't even see that on
it was like,
any-
here at Adidas, we support breasts of all sizes or whatever. And it was a literally just a collage
of tits.
of boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Not like of girls with their boobs, just straight up boobs.
Was it a like a prank tweet that someone hacked
No,
them, or this was actual?
This is
I
actually
think it's
Adidas. Adidas
still
tweeted
up?
it. I don't know. Maybe.
Dude,
I
I'll
screenshotted it in case they deleted it.
Oh, wow.
for later.
No, but like it was wild. It was like it's like 20 a collage of like 25 different little pictures of boobs.
Yeah, I mean again
I was like, what the fuck is this?
again, I could understand the argument in October for breast cancer awareness month.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would make
it's-
more
It's-
sense.
yeah.
It's their pinned tweet. So
It's
yeah,
their
it's,
pinned tweet.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So,
Damn.
The official Adidas Twitter.
Adidas just trying to break the mold.
Hey,
Hey,
I
I'm
like
with
it.
That's what I said. I'm like, hey, I'm with it.
I didn't know till I was
Break
watching.
the mold.
I was watching the Yak and Barstool did it with like all of the men. It's
Yeah.
just like all of their boobs. which
That's
is funny.
funny.
Like, why do we gotta walk around and act like girls don't have boobs or something?
Well, and I guess now that we're talking about it, it is kind of funny to me that was news. That's like that was a big thing going on. You know what I mean? Like, why is that news? Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I don't know. It's ours.
Couple good
Johnny.
racks there.
He's examining there.
We got some solid puppies on that thing or what? We got some nice nipple arrangements going on.
Well,
A nice array of nips.
There is a few.
Yeah,
There's a few.
There's a few nice
I
ones.
see what they were going for with this post.
Yeah, it's support
Yeah,
hashtag.
all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey,
Because
All right.
they hit the nail on the head with the all shapes and sizes. Couple nice racks though.
How long's the
Couple nice
video? I might have a 25-second
Whatever.
challenge
Apparently,
later.
lately I've just been real insensitive towards women, so I guess I'll just keep that one going.
No.
Who said that?
Couple people on Twitter.
Really?
oh, who cares about Boonie Hat?
Yeah, who is that?
Some kid, I don't know.
He
went
was.
to
I think he was
Central.
a freshman. When oh
Yeah.
god. Oh.
Don't give a. I don't know who he is, and if he listens.
Czar said
you-
he
you
liked
get-
Adele when she was thicker, and he comments, "You shouldn't say that on Twitter." I'm like, shut the.
Isn't that
fuck
what
up.
Twitter's for?
And I commented back. I was like, I don't see.
I don't see a problem with that either. Like
So-
what?
Apparently, though, I'm pretty. Even though I prefaced the tweet with, I don't mean to sound insensitive here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like,
I don't. I just don't. For whatever reason, like I don't think that's a bad thing to
I don't
say.
think that's mean.
but dude, I don't think that's mean because if there's a point where I get to be very skinny and people like me with more weight, if somebody said, "Hey, Jake, you look better with an extra 20 pounds," that doesn't hurt my feelings.
I'd be like, fuck this grilled chicken then.
yeah, for real. I'd be like, I'm going back on the pizza.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm going back
I
on the
don't know.
pizza.
I don't know. I get just the thought came to my head, and I let the world know it. You know, the
Yeah.
whole world that follows me on Twitter.
Whatever, dude. Fuck them.
Whatever. It's fine. I'll continue to speak my mind on Twitter.
All right, Star Wars nerds. Boba, did we like it?
I did.
Yeah, for the most part, I have some mixed feelings.
All right, let's go. Let's talk. Let's chat.
Well, I'll get the main one out right away, which I think most people feel that the modder gang just
The biker weird people. I don't care for them
I don't
either.
care for them, and they don't, to me, fit the vibe at all. Every time they're on screen, it just feels forced and just like out of place. I think the idea of them is cool, like a group of people that like are modded with droid parts. I just think they did a bad job on the design of them. The design and
It's
the
like
vibe.
the goth group or something.
Yeah,
but
they look steampunk or whatever people call that shit. It's just weird.
They do look like that.
Yeah, it's just.
I want to say something.
To me, it's very out of place.
But I don't know if I should say it because I don't mean it in an insensitive way. But is that a way for them to include an LGBTQ type community with the colorful bikes and?
I mean, maybe it could.
And I don't mean that in any disrespectful way.
I mean, it could be. To me, I don't know. That's a good theory, I guess. It's just very out of place in my eyes.
But
and it's super corny.
I liked all the I loved Mando and Boba fighting together.
That was
when
sick.
They did that little decoy of sending that orange Twi'lek guy out there, and they came flying out on their jetpacks. I thought there was a lot of cool fight scenes. I liked. I liked how Boba won the fight with his Tusken staff.
Yeah,
that was a cool. It went full circle.
I guess
there.
I was just shocked because for people like myself, that's like a Star Wars casual and didn't know who Cad Bane was and everything like that. It shocked me that we don't know this for sure, but it shocked me that he quote unquote died already.
It didn't really shock me because. He'd be like 75 years old, or he's an really old man in Boba, and he had such a big role as the bad guy in Clone Wars, and I think the Rebels show, and he's in the Bad Batch. He was a big bad guy, so that doesn't surprise me that they take him live action kind of as his send off, like because he had such a big role in all those shows.
No, I 100% agree. I agree with that. I guess the point I'm just trying to make is like a casual Star Wars guy that hasn't dove into all that stuff.
I wish he didn't die. I thought he
was a sick ass fucking character.
He looks real sick. His voice is scary.
I don't know if he's dead.
Yeah, I don't know if he's dead either.
Honestly, there's a lot of people that are saying he's still alive, and like there's some evidence to back it up. Stuff I didn't notice. I've only watched through the episode once. I guess there's like a beeping noise right after he gets stabbed. People are saying like that he's calling someone, you know what I mean? But I don't know. If he's dead, he's dead. My biggest issues with the episode past the Power Rangers, which I hate even saying that because I love the Power Rangers. So I feel like
me too.
I feel like I'm insulting the Power Rangers. The steampunk, colorful modders people. Everything to me, it was like a time thing. I wish there would have been one more episode.
Yeah.
Like 8 episodes, just like both seasons of Mando, would have been perfect. I don't know why they only went with 7 for Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because there's just supposed to be a filler in between the next season.
Did you
Mando.
talk about this on Midnight Gamer?
I did.
Okay, because
it's just a time thing for me.
Well, I was in my head. That's right when I in my head I was like, I've heard you say this, but I didn't know where from.
Well, I feel like the battle, like between the Pikes and them, could have drawn out for like 2 episodes. I would have liked to see Boba and Cad Bane's fight be a little longer, like them like trading blows, like different things.
I guess I wish I saw more of the Pikes too, because
exactly. That's
they were another big villain group.
Yeah,
but I think like this show is leading into something way bigger. Like I think it's gonna be like leading up to like a Thanos type thing. Like I think really Boba Fett is gonna end up being like a side kind of behind the scenes character as he was in Mando. I think maybe they just kind of wanted to explain his story a little farther. I think it's going to lead all these. We're going to keep having more shows and stuff come out that's going to lead into a real big villain. which I think is that Thrawn guy, that blue. I don't know much about him. He's in one of those Rebels show that I didn't watch yet, but he's this blue guy. And he's
Yeah,
really
he's
bad
a
or whatever. I
admiral,
think
right?
he's gonna be like the Thanos, and all these shows are kind of like the before the Avengers shows, leading into them forming the Star Wars Avengers.
Which I love that.
I mean, it's a
yeah.
I have to agree. I think Boba Fett, the Boba Fett show. I don't think there's going to be a second season.
No, I don't either.
I think this was, if you even want to call it filler, I think that's exactly what it was. It was, they introduced this character at the end of Mando season 2, so now they made this kind of filler season to explain how he was still alive, because he was a character that existed from the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So they made this little filler to like advance the storyline, explain how he's still alive, and then I agree with JT. I think he's going to be moving forward a supporting cast
Yeah.
type character. I think the main stars are Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Mando.
agree.
I
yeah.
think, like you said, they're kind of building their gang.
Yeah.
That's like people that are going to support them.
And in my head too, like I keep telling myself, this is a Disney situation, what we've seen with Marvel and stuff like that. This is just the beginning of all this stuff. There's going to be so many more things that support this story and world that they're trying to create. And we said it last week, that Ranger show was supposed to come about. So I'm anxious to see what other kind of spinoff they're planning. But I just hope Mando season 3 basically starts with them dipping out.
Yeah.
And right in
Dude,
that point.
how much swag does our little Grogu have, though?
God damn, he's
He's
tank
awesome.
now.
Dude, his little walk, his little crip walk or whatever. He's just like walking up,
Dude,
and then he uses the force.
It's
Something like this
sick.
is awesome.
I love Grogu, dude. Like,
Dude, he's sick.
He's like a cute fucking animal at the same time as being a badass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Like,
love when
he hits all your emotions.
when he. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah,
when
Walks
he
up.
Mando's.
like walking out.
Yeah,
They're like, "Where's the kid?" He's like, "He's right there." And they show me, he's just like,
It's great.
so awesome.
I loved that ending scene where he was like, no. What Grogu wanted him to go fast all the
Yeah.
time. He's like, okay,
then
fine.
he's like, no,
He's
no,
like,
no,
one
no.
more time.
and then he's like,
And it just boom.
Yeah.
Where do you
awesome.
think they're going? I guess that would be my final question.
I don't know.
kind of think they're on their way back to Luke.
Whoa,
That's honestly
I didn't
what,
even-
that's
they could
honestly
be.
what I think.
they could be.
that. I mean, to me, that's the only thing that makes sense, because I know you said this, but I think it could be a situation where they both learn how to use lightsabers.
That's kind of what I think is gonna. It's gonna be like a dual training thing.
Yeah.
Question: do we ever think Mando could lose his "I have to wear my helmet all the time" attitude?
It's exactly what I think is gonna happen in the future.
I think he's gonna go if he gets trained by Luke. I think that for some reason I
realization.
picture him getting trained and not his armor.
Yeah.
Like just straight up being a human.
I just wonder if there's any shot that we see him lose the saber, and he
Maybe.
finds somebody and runs into somebody that the saber like works with that person.
Well, all signs of point towards
Yeah.
Saber ends up with Grogu.
No, I think that could be how the whole story ends. Like
Yeah.
Grogu, Mando gets old, and then Grogu's
Like,
gonna be
takes
like
over.
the takes over the mantle as the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
with his armor, he's the Mandalorian Jedi.
Dude, what if we get to see
Yeah.
Grogu's helmet, bro? What if they make him a
Dude,
sick
if
ass?
I hope he has a dude
with
that'd
his
be
ears
so
sticking out the
awesome.
corners, and it's just like a
The
helmet.
sky's the limit for where the series could end up. Truthfully, I mean, it could go so many different directions. We have no clue.
Mm.
All that shit could happen.
God, I'm
but
excited.
I going back to that, I think you don't hire as big of an actor as Pedro Pascal and
Yeah.
keep him behind a mask the whole time.
Yeah,
I think it's building up to. They've already shown his face once in each season. I think eventually he'll move past the
Mhm.
helmet thing. That's just
Yeah.
what I think.
dude. Listen. Mando is literally the Star Wars Iron Man. He's about to
He
be
is.
freaking Star Wars Iron Man, and Boba is like War Machine.
Yeah. Well, since you're doing the comparisons, this just popped in my head. Jumping over to Marvel, I saw today that they think the Moon Knight series, he's somebody that they call him like a prophet or whatever, and he can kind of see into the future of certain things that happen. And I guess there's supposed to be a couple scenes where he looks into the future and sees like Marvel events happen before they do. So it'd be kind of cool if like we just see a random scene where there's a quote unquote Avengers scene and them fighting and we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess
has it been a time?
It's been a time. I just would like to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. I miss the days where you made a cool box and you would just go around and give your Valentines to everybody in school.
Yeah.
That was
good
fun.
old days.
I hope schools still do that because those are lasting memories. And yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Juice Fisherman, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube.
You can follow me on Instagram at John Theodore Nixon. That's John Theodore Nixon on Instagram. I'm on the Juicebox Podcast Twitter. That's at the Juicebox Pod. That's at the Juicebox Pod. # Milk Gang. You already know. Follow us on Facebook, the Juicebox Podcast. We are not the Diabetes, the Juicebox Podcast.
I'm on Twitter at Bubba Slider and read my blogs on the Juicebox Pod. I had a couple ideas. I'm going to write blogs.
Hell
We'll get
yeah.
back into it.
I'm on Instagram at pokey.czar. I'm on Twitter at pokeyzar. Follow my Twitch at pokeyzar. That's Z-A-R.
Z as in zebra, A as in apple, R as in respects, R as in Reebok.
This is the way.
Bye-bye. I almost said amen.